Hi guys, and welcome back to Authentic Analysis with Kay. I just thought I'd bring a quick video to talk about the death of Shanquella Robinson. I've been watching and following the story. I wasn't sure if I should put something out because obviously there's a lot of videos online, but I thought I'd just give my little 2 pence on what my opinion is and what I've been searching so far. So Shanquella was 25 years old and she was from North Carolina in the States. So this happened last month. She went to Cabo in Mexico with some friends to celebrate someone's birthday. I think it was one of the friends, Nazir. It was the birthday. So she was only there for a day until she had passed away. So initially, her friend Khalil, I guess that was her best friend, he had called Shanquella's mum and said that she was feeling unwell because she had been drinking that night or the night before, and she was feeling really unwell. And that feeling unwell went to the next phone call was that she died of alcohol poisoning. And then I think the group, so there were 6 of them, they returned home. So the parents were saying, Shanquella's parents were basically saying they didn't really believe what the friends were saying because it just didn't really make any sense. And then on top of that, obviously she passed away in Mexico and they all left and come back to America and left her there. So like a lot of people were saying, if you go on holiday with your friend and they passed away, how can you just get up and just go back to the US like that? Especially if you plan to stay there for 8 days. If it was a thing where, okay, you couldn't afford a ticket back home, you still had the rest of your holiday to stay there. So why not use that time to try and get her to come home? That didn't really make sense to me either. I'm probably not going to explain the story, so maybe hopefully you've known something about it and then you can understand what I'm saying. But it's just strange. Like, even if you couldn't afford a ticket to stay on longer or work commitments or whatever, you still plan to stay a majority time on the holiday for over a week and you came back after, 2 days? Unless I'm getting the story wrong. So when the autopsy was done, I'm going to see if I can find the accurate on her autopsy, because the autopsy said something a lot different. So they said that she had died of alcohol poisoning. I don't really understand like how you could call someone's parents and say she died of alcohol poisoning. Because the first thing you should say is that, oh, the police or the ambulance took her in and they said this was the cause of death. But you've just said it because that's what you think, and it didn't even make sense. It's not even coming from anything credible. And do you not think that anybody was going to really look into it? So at first, when I was hearing the story, it sounded dodgy to me from the get-go. Like, it just did not make any sense. Like, you're going with your friend, you get sick because you drank too much alcohol, and then you just go back home. You barely say anything to the family. And then on top of that, Khalil took, what's the girl's name? I can't. The girl there was 2 girls that he took to the mum's home, and because they brought luggage back. So that same girl, Desandra, I'm never going to try and look up her name because she's irrelevant, but she was shown on a video fighting with Shanquella, and Shanquella didn't want to fight. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. So Shanquella was seen on a video and she was nude, and this girl was fighting her and hitting her, and Shanquella was saying she didn't want to fight. So to me, once someone says that, no matter how angry or whatever you are, once they say that, leave it alone, because it's not a fair fight. You're not getting your ones in. You're fighting with someone that don't want to fight. So what are you really gaining out of that? Unless, no, it's not even unless. There's no right in that, and I can't even believe that they sat there and recording it. Like, after that video, they stopped filming. What was the conversation after that? Because how can I trust you? Like, you're sitting there recording, not even helping me, and I have no clothes on and you're recording me. And what even makes no sense? How come everything always ends up on social media? Why did the video end up online? And I guess somebody was saying that one of the people on the trip wanted to prove that they weren't part of what happened, so they wanted to prove that the girl that was fighting was the main person, or whatever the case may be. But obviously, the moment that you're putting that video out and that's the reasons why, alcohol poisoning goes out the window. So I don't think they're not even sticking to their story anymore, because all of them been quiet after they found out the real reasons. After the parents have found out the real reasons of what's happened, and it's just it's a shame that someone's gonna drag you, not even drag you, but someone's gonna entice you to come on a holiday and to have fun, just to set you up. And I know sometimes as individuals we might not be great friends, or we might not make the right choices when it comes to our friendship groups or whatever the case may be, but to be that vindictive is overly, like, that's too much. Like, you really went out of your way to say, okay, we're gonna sorry, I'm just looking for the autopsy. You're gonna really go out of your way to really, get someone injured or get someone hurt. Like, I don't know what their intention was. Their intention for her to, were they trying to, really do some, serious damage, or were they trying to, like, what was the gain? And obviously that's what I was thinking in the initial process. Like, I'm like, do they not like her that much that they will take her abroad and fight with her? Like, why do that? But obviously, as more stories are coming out, a lot of people saying that money was involved. So that is starting to make a bit more sense why they were doing that. So I can't find the specific autopsy result properly, because the website that it's showing is just so many pop-ups. But I remember them saying she had injuries to the neck, and possibly the back, the spine, which is obviously very different to alcohol poisoning. And on the autopsy result, there was no, I don't know if there was no alcohol found or not enough to say that there was alcohol poisoning. So that went out the window. And from when they found out the real autopsy results, the friends have all been quiet. So you had one guy, Nazir, I've seen his live where he was talking about, well, I went there on the first day, and when I did see her, I was, caressing her head and making sure she was okay, telling her to pull through, and she, come on, we can't do this, we're 2,000 miles away from home. And I'm like, what does a marriage got to do with that? Like, you're speaking to the wrong person, definitely the wrong person here. And it's just, to me, it was just a lack. In his live that I saw, there was no, like, let me not say I get it, like, he's feeling like, oh, people are getting on to me about what's happened and it's not my fault, I weren't there. But I didn't really hear him talking about how he feels like someone's lost their life. I don't really hear any sympathy or empathy towards the family, towards what happened, nothing. And the family was saying that her body, like, she had, her eye was busted, the lip, and that don't happen from alcohol poisoning. So I'm not sure how the friends were going to play this, because eventually the family were going to find out. So I'm not sure what they thought were going to happen. And if this is true about the alleged them doing this over 10,000, was that worth it? Like, all 6 of you done this over that much money? Wow. She went there thinking that she, probably not that she could even trust anyone, but she's going to go to have a good time, come back home, whatever. Like, she goes on holidays all the time. She's a hair braider. She makes a decent amount of money. So to think to go on holiday and that was going to happen, like, really? It just really puts me off going on any holidays. I don't even go on holidays as it is, but I don't really do holidays, like girls' holidays or anything like that. But yeah, it definitely would put me off, because I know in how I am, or maybe my interaction with certain people, how I am. Yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. And I don't know what even makes it worse. Like, it's like, to me, it's like Khalil set this whole thing up because he's the closest to her, but got girls to do the dirty work, and they done it and fell for it as well, knowing damn well we're in a time period where all social media, we're not in the 80s or 90s, where you do something, you come back, you might get some backlash, but you're going to be on social media where this thing is going to be following you for forever. So I'm not really sure why they thought they were going to come back and it was going to be silence. And okay, yeah, you're in Mexico, but you're not that far away from the States, so I don't know how Mexico works or how their brains were thinking, but it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And rest in peace to Shanquella Robinson. and you know, I hope her family's doing okay. But it's just a shame that you can't even go on holiday and without something happening, without, you know, not trusting that something's gonna happen. Like, I just, it's, wow, it just makes me honestly feel like you can't really trust anyone to not do something to put you in harm's way. You can't, obviously you can't, let alone there's like crazy people. No, it's not crazy, but you got people out there doing the most. You got people doing horrendous, horrific crimes, and then on top of that, the people that you go on a holiday with, you think that's gonna be the safest. But it speaks volumes. None of them went to the funeral. None of them has really posted anything since it happened. So I really hope that you guys don't sleep at night, that this is eating you up, because this really was not worth it. And I hope that the American authorities do get some clearance from the Mexican authorities to investigate, because definitely you guys aren't seasoned, hardened criminals, so you don't know how. I don't think you really know about covering your tracks. I'm not saying that, you know, want you to, but you guys definitely don't know anything about that, because the way you lot have done it is just disgusting, and it shouldn't have even happened in the first place. But I could definitely know for sure some of you guys are going to start feeling the pressure, and that's when everyone's going to start talking, because no one's going to want to go down for a murder, and that's going to be a very long time. And especially this case has a lot of media presence, so yeah, I know soon someone's going to start talking. A lot of them are going to start talking, because how long are you going to keep in hiding for? And bearing in mind, you're never going to know the police, the FBI's next move. You're only going to know from what you hear from social media. So if they decide to say, oh, we've investigated, we already know this and that, by the time that you find that out, the news already put it out and the police are going to be at your front door. So they're not going to be putting out their move and telling you what they're going to do before they do it. They're going to be doing it until they're done, dusted, and make sure they've cleared all the paperwork and done all that. So you think you're sitting comfortably now, but you won't be. So like I said, it's very sketchy. Definitely did not die from alcohol poisoning. For sure, I think there was Winter, the other girl, I can't pronounce her name, and I think there was a third girl. Definitely, they were definitely beating her. And from obviously what a lot of people are saying and the injuries, it wasn't like, I don't think it was a suddenness. She probably was, you know, as they were saying that she was unwell, that's when she was probably, you know, passing away. And instead of taking her to A&E or anything like that to even try and sort anything out, they just left her to die. Like, it's disgusting. And I watch Sean Davey Way on YouTube, and he's covering the story quite a lot, and he called a hospital to ask about insurance. Obviously I'm from the UK, so I don't really know how this insurance stuff works, but I guess obviously if you have an injury or whatever the case may be, you have to have insurance to cover that, and if you don't, they'll bill you later. So obviously I'm not sure exactly how it works. I don't think they're not going to discharge you, but obviously you're going to keep racking up debt. So I guess maybe it's the same if you come from another country and you come to the UK and you do something on the NHS, you're going to have that debt on you until you pay it off. So he was saying that if you go to the hospital, even if you don't have insurance or whatever the case may be, they will bill you later and obviously expect you to pay it. So they couldn't even take her to a hospital and use that stupid excuse, oh, well, they wanted money. Okay. Wow. No words. So like I said, if anybody wants me to talk about the update of this case, I mean, I won't cover it in full because it's a lot, and I think I've started really late, but you know, anything major I'll definitely come back and include it in a video. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I think the next video I was going to do was the things that I hate about London. It's probably it's like silly, like little stuff, like, you know, I love London, but just the thing that I noticed recently that got my nerves. But I will be back with another video shortly. I don't know if I'm going to do it today, but I will come back very soon. Alright, thank you guys. Bye.